Hello, today we're going to talk about creating charts in Word. Now you might be wondering, would I be better off creating my chart in Excel? Well, maybe, but I think as you'll see, in pretty short order, it's really not any more difficult to do it in Word. It's just a little weird. There's one weird step. Once you understand that, the process is pretty doable. So I'm going to create this chart. It's a pie chart. I choose pie charts when I have a choice because there's just less data. So I want to show you something. If I really wanted to see what's the raw numbers behind this chart look like, if you right click on a chart in Word, you go to Edit Data, and that opens up this little spreadsheet for you. And so you can kind of see, okay, those things may be displayed as percentages, but the raw totals are 30, 40, 50, 60, and 40. Alright, now that I've got the numbers, it's just a matter of formatting. So I'm going to create a new Word document. And if I want to insert a chart, it's going to be on the Insert tab, and it's under Charts. This looks just like the tool looks in Excel. If you ever go to the general, just Insert Charts. Here's 3D Charts. Click on that. So here's the weird part, right? Once you get past this part, it's the same as creating a chart in Excel. So you got these weird decimal numbers over here, and first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. That's the same, just junk information that everybody gets. For some reason, that's just how it looks. It's your job to go in there and substitute accordingly. So this was Monday. And since it's Excel, I do have things like the fill handle available to me, but I'll just write them out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Alright, so notice that adjusted my legend in real time. My sales were pretty easy. They were like 30, 40, 50, 60, 40. Notice I'm just entering data just the same way I would enter it in Excel. This right here seems to be my title, and I think it was daily sales, I think is what I called it. Alright, so that's all the data that we need. I want to show you one kind of sort of trick. It's not that relevant in a pie chart, but notice these little corner sizing handles. If for some reason you didn't want Friday in there, I have no idea why you wouldn't, but it's kind of your job to resize it like that. So you can move it around like that. Now in a pie chart, you're not going to be messing with that, but in a column chart, maybe where you've got like grand totals in there or something, then you definitely might want to not have that in there. So you got that weird little split screen, this small Excel window. In previous versions of Word, I think it was half the screen was Excel. And so this half screen was better. This is worse, but it's weird looking. And now, once you understand what it's supposed to look like, I think that's a step towards being done. So I'm going to close this thing. And as I showed you in my last example, you are free to right-click on it and go back to the data if you decide that you made a mistake. Right? But I didn't. So the difference between this and this was just a bunch of, so these things had larger fonts and there's a fill color. So let's talk about formatting charts. And this formatting chart conversation is exactly the same as it was in Excel. These tools right here are meant to help us out. And notice I had data labels, so there's data labels. But those are raw totals. I wanted percentages. So I'm going to go into more options. And I don't like this pane over here. But I switched it from value to percentage. Okay. And now I'm going to just start making the fonts bigger, which is essentially what I need to do. My favorite way to format the elements of a chart is under the Format tab here in the current selection area. So if I want the data labels, I select the data labels. Notice they are selected. And just start growing the font, because I don't know what I'm going for, but that looks good. Now, if I want to select the legend, I can either go legend, or if you just click on it, you sometimes get what you want. It depends what you're trying to format. The legend is typically pretty easy to select. So is the title. Oops, I was going... Oh yeah, no, okay, that's good. Some things are hard to select manually, and when you're having a hard time selecting what you want, use this tool. Like now, I want to give this chart a background, so that is the chart area. That's one of the harder ones to click on, because you can't tell when you've got it selected, because it's literally everywhere. There's my shape fill, and there we go. So the process of formatting the chart was exactly the same as that would be in Excel. If you haven't messed around much in Excel with charts, well, that is probably all new to you. This is meant to be a really touchscreen friendly, easy way to format charts, but I I guess I'm old school. I prefer to do things a little more manual rather than clicking on the shortcut button for it. But you're welcome to format things as you like. So now you know how to do charts in Word, and as you can see, that wasn't really any more difficult than it would have been in Excel. There's just that funky little step right here. But once you know what you're looking at, it's not so bad. Thanks for watching.